Re-elected Ekurhuleni Mayor Tania Campbell has admitted service delivery has suffered since she was removed 2 weeks ago, but says she'll hit the ground running. Ekurhuleni councillors claim waste has been left uncollected and water leaks and electricity outages aren't being addressed. Govan Whittles is in Ekurhuleni this morning looking at the state of the different communities there. Govan, good morning to you. You'll tell us the area where you are, but garbage collection has been neglected at least for the past 2 weeks. What is the explanation for that?
Well, the explanation has been that the instability in the Ekurhuleni Council chambers has resulted in ineffective service delivery here in the city of Ekurhuleni. We're joining you from Germiston. We figured we'd start here because the council chambers are in Germiston. This should be the area where, if they hit the ground running, they'll start with. And I'll step out a shot to show you the state of things in Ekurhuleni. Many councillors have claimed rubbish has been left uncollected here. One of the main roads that we're on, residents say it hasn't been collected for at least 3 weeks, closer to a month. This area has been without electricity since 10 a.m. Yesterday. And before we go look at some of the commentary and promises that were made by Tania Campbell, let's speak to some of the residents here. I've got two gentlemen that are joining me, Mr. Jabu Sema and his colleague. Mr. Sema is the community representative. He takes up many of the challenges, always in communication with the municipality. Thank you so much, Mr. Jabu Sema. Just tell us what service delivery is like in your area because of or at least over the last month.
Just been about church from, I'm sure now it's 3 months back. Rubbish, but about clean, as now about clean now. He shot as the cut, the push cut, Ungamuga, but now about Catella, he shot the pass.
Yeah, and I'd just like to bring in your colleague here. So they've got a new mayor in Ekurhuleni, Mr. Baloy. Do you think things will get better now?
I don't think they'll get better. They'll get worse because they still have a backlog with the service delivery that they didn't collect. So they'll have to collect more because they didn't collect in time. So it's going to pile up.
Thank you so much. Just straight comments from the people that are living in this area, giving you an indication of what it's been like. They don't necessarily blame the instability. It's more of a case of them believing that the government, even though the multi-party government has been in power, it's still ineffective. It's unable to pick up the trash when it's supposed to and repair these electricity problems that seem to be plaguing this area. Let's take a look now at what the mayor had to say immediately after her re-election yesterday in response to concerns that service delivery is lagging in the city of Ekurhuleni.
We had a plan, we still have a plan, and that is to serve the residents of Ekurhuleni. It is a pity that 2.5 weeks has been wasted, where emergency plans have to be put in place for service delivery. However, we will be hitting the ground running. Plans will carry on with service delivery. And yes, I must also thank parties in council that voted for us.
That's Ekurhuleni Mayor Tania Campbell speaking immediately after her re-election. She's full of confidence that they'll be able to repair the situation, address the most urgent needs. In fact, she said they'll speak to the EFF about their service delivery concerns after the EFF, of course, helped the multi-party coalition get back into power. But the ANC is not as confident. In fact, they expect things to get worse. And we spoke to the chief whip of the ANC. He was also the mayoral candidate, Jongizizwe Tlabati, who failed to get elected. Let's have a listen to what he had to say about the future of service delivery in the city.
Many community members became alive to the actual state of the city. Waste is not being collected, potholes, electricity outages. So there's a general lack of service delivery. And it was out of our motion. So we will continue to use motions, petitions, questions as part of the tools to exercise effective opposition. So a motion will never be useless, because you aim to expose the current state of the city. Of course, secondarily, we anticipated that, it will also assist us to elect a person who is fit for purpose. And we remain convinced that Tania is not a person who is fit for purpose. In fact, you will see for yourself in the next 6 months that the situation will spiral down. There's a risk that we may not be in a position to fulfill our financial obligations to many of our service providers.
Well, Govan, I suppose of most concern to residents of Ekurhuleni is whether or not there is going to be stability in that municipality, given that the previous mayor is now back in her seat. But I suspect here, Govan, that we may have to look to the national leaders of these parties as to whether or not Tania Campbell is going to stay there for some time and we're not going to see yet another disruption. Your sentiment around whether or not it's not going to be termed a short victory, like Banyazile Sufi said in the case of Johannesburg?
Well, I think within the next few days we'll get a clearer indication after that reshuffle by Tania Campbell. That reshuffle will be crucially important because she's committed to engage with the so-called Super 7. Those are the minority parties who hold 7 additional seats in council. And they're really the key to Tania Campbell edging closer to forming a majority government. And as we've seen in the city of Tshwane, majority governments are the ones that are able to withstand motions of no confidence and outlast criticism of service delivery, which Randall Williams in Tshwane has faced, but has been able to stay in power because the coalition is so strong. The last motion of no confidence that removed Tania Campbell exposed, as according to the mayor, her need to engage with these parties and get them on side. And that's what she said she'll venture to do. And if she gives them positions in that reshuffle that's coming up, it'll be the clearest indication that she's hoping to consolidate the multi-party coalition's position and anticipate another motion of no confidence from the ANC.
Govan Whittles, thank you very much for explaining that to us so well.